Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? Okay, it's not annoying, it's like my same voice every time I do it. However, today is a polymer clay play day. Maybe I'll sing, probably not. However, beautiful girl asked me to do a demo on a flower, and I asked her to be specific on what kind of demo she wanted, and she drew me the kind of flower cane that she wanted. So, as you all know, my disclaimer is I do these clay videos. I love doing them. I'm a clay freak. I love it. I have RA. I have rheumatoid arthritis as well as fibro, amongst other things. And this is not for perfection. This is not for people who. I like to teach the basics on how to do it so you can do it yourself. However, I'm in a basement where I have a space heater on right now, where I have my two kittens with me and my dog, and it makes the clay very warm. So to get started, always remember, and I will remind you in each step, to put your clay in the freezer, regardless of where you're working, really. Plus, I have really hot hands. So put your clay in the freezer step by step. So when you make your cuts with your knife, and this is a kit I got at Michael's, and I used a coupon. I've shown it in all my clay videos. It's called Sculpey, and it's Super Slicer, and it comes with these handles, as you can see, and it has how many blades? 1, 2, 3, 4 different blades, and these handles that change into them. So, and the package kind of looks like that. It's called Super Slicer, and it's very handy because I've been using all these years just the knife itself, just the blade itself, the tissue blade, and it's very hard. So with this, it makes it really good. And this one's a more flexible one. They have a harder straight edge one. They have 2 different crinkle ones. So that's something I would, if you're into clay, wanting to start clay, I would invest. I think it was, gosh, with my coupon, 40% off, I think it might have came to $8, $7 for all of that, which is awesome. So otherwise, if not, you can just buy the blade itself. You can take clay, make your own little handles, and bake them on there. And you have a fantastic way to do it. So anyway, I mean, I've seen people do the whole clay across the top and bake it, and they make beautiful, things. So that's your options. So here is what we're going to do today. And I kind of broke it down into parts. Otherwise, you'll be here for 4 days with my the way I do things. Okay, so we're going to start off with a jelly roll. Now I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer, and I'm going to try to pay attention to the computer to make sure that I'm on the computer, actually. And these are going to be the 2 colors I'm using for my jelly roll. And this is going to be the inside of the flower. So as you can see, I rolled these out on my pasta machine. If you do not have a pasta machine, do not despair. It is not a big deal. I use a water bottle. I use my cooking spray bottle, can. I use jars. I use big containers of paint. I use, you can get these very inexpensive. You can use a buttload of things. And in my previous, I have many, many clay videos. I've told you many things that you can use. If you are handy, you can even take extra, because I'm kind of down to my last, as you all know, I'm using my, like my extra clay that I kind of throw into bags, and I'm getting down to like the nitty gritty. But I'm very excited to say that within the next month, I'm going to move back upstairs into my daughter's room, which used to be my old bedroom, where I'm going to condense all my stuff together, because we're going to make this room down here our bedroom. Our bedroom in the next room will be my daughter's bedroom downstairs. We're going to redo this room, and then I can be upstairs and which is a much bigger room. It's about the same size as this, but I can have a table with my sewing machine, and I can knit, and I have all my good clay, all the good clay stuff that I can show you a lot of fun things. But if you need a roller and you can't afford one and you have extra clay, and I'm talking extra clay like, I'm sorry, honey, I scare you. I'm talking like a bag of like clay pieces like this that you just have of like everything. Take them all together, smush them together, and kind of roll them into, you know, a little bit larger. But you want it to be quite thick of all your ickiness, you know, all that yucky clay. And kind of, you know, rolly, and roll it on your thing and bake it at the directions of the clay, which is usually, what, 275, 30 minutes an inch. So I would probably do this an hour, and I would bake it. And then when you come out, you have your own roller. So now you have this great roller, so when you're rolling your polymer clay, now mind you, it's hard, then you can have a roller. So that's something to do. So what we have here today is a piece of white clay and a piece of purple clay, and we are going to make this our middle. So these are pretty thick, if you can see. I rolled them through the roller. So if you want them thinner, or you just want to roll them out with whatever you don't have a pasta machine, which a lot of people don't. It's not a big deal. Just roll it. Remember that, so we're just rolling. Remember that if you have water, if it gets sticky, like if you don't want it to stick, spray water on it, on your clay. It won't hurt a thing. Take your purple and just give it a push and give it a little roll. Okay. This is actually, I bought in the baking section, and it has these different things on it where you can, like, for measurement, so you can get it thicker or thinner. You don't even have to have these on here, really. You can even use a regular rolling pin. I have many of them, you know, so you can use that. So we're going to do our roll first. So here we are. And I think I'm going to roll my purple on the outside. So I'm going to lay my white on top of my purple, just like this. And you want them to be fairly the same size. So now you see we have our purple. I know the color is hard. It's kind of weird because it's like a light purple. But you can see it's on top. And just give it a real light roll. So it kind of, you know, sticks together. And then very lightly, very easily start. And just kind of bend this in just a little bit with your fingers. And roll. Trying to get the air bubbles out just by giving a little press here and there, and just roll it. And keep rolling it. See how I'm rolling it? And you'll get something that looks like this, and like this. Then take your piece where it's like kind of like, you know, where it ended, and just slowly rock back and forth on it so it seals it. Use your hand like this, so your palm's on it, and light pressure, and just go back and forth just a few times. And you'll see it starts to blend. I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do before I go on to thin that down is to cut off an end. Now remember, before you cut, you should throw it in the freezer for a few minutes. But here's our jelly roll. Now you can see I did not press hard enough. I have like an air bubble in there, you can see. This piece right here is just a piece of old different color clay, but you can see the air bubble right there. So that means, and you can see how it's kind of smushing a little bit because it's warm down here. This is when you roll it and then put it in the freezer. So let's roll it because we want it to be thinner. And we're just going to keep rolling it out. And if you want it to be, you know, thick, if you want to have like different sizes, you can cut it in half. So you have, let's say, see, it's very warm down here. Keep pushing it in the circle size. So just keep moving it around. Because you want to kind of keep it circular. So like, let's say, and you can see when I cut it, it goes, it smushes. But let's say we want to keep this size for something else, something later. Okay, so we'll just set this aside and we'll just work on this bad boy. And all we're going to do is we're just going to, with the same amount of pressure on your hand, and we're going to make it smaller. And this is going to be the middle of our flower. So just keep rolling your hand out this way, rolling your hand out this way. Rolling, rolling, rolling. You want to kind of keep it the same, you know, pressure because you want it to be the same thickness. Now, what I would do at this point is I would throw it in the freezer because it will freeze up. You know, you want it to firm up before you cut it. But I'm just going to cut it and cut it. And you can see we have, my nose is running, the middle of our flower. Now, I wish I had darker purple down here because it would have made a better thing. But can you see it? So depending on how you roll that first roll as we did, if you make it tighter, if it's darker, do you know what I mean? You'll get a tighter roll. But this is the roll I can do with my hands. Again, when you do it, you can take even a what are these things called? They got the point on the end. See it? To even start your roll, or a toothpick because it's so thin. So there's many ways you can do it, but like I said, due to having RA, it's kind of hard to be very, you know, but we got it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half, put that aside. I mean, look how good that looks. And you see, we got it. It looks good. And that's now that's the middle of our flower. All right, why won't you straighten up? Straighten up, young man. Really being a jerk. Or are my eyes going funky? I don't know. Come on. Anyway, you see it. It look good. Okay, so we're going to set this right there. So that's our little middle. Now let's do our petals. And all I'm going to do is roll out whatever color you want your petals to be. Now, again, with this can be any two colors you want. I chose the light purple I have and white. You can choose it to be black and white. You can choose it, to be orange. And if you want it Halloweeny, you can do it orange and black. You can do it green and white, green and yellow, yellow and black, whatever you, oh my gosh, excuse me, whatever you want it to be is what you can make it be, okay? And that's your middle. So remember, this is whatever color combination that you want. So what I have on hand is I mixed a bunch of like colors that I have in my little crappy clay bag. And I cut out some sheets. I cut out about 4 for now to see. As you can see. Can you see? I don't know. There you go. Yeah. So I cut out about 4. You see, no big deal. Nothing, you know, I just rolled them in my pasta machine, cut them in these little things. I have some white, and the white's going to be my middle. So I'm going to take white, and I'm going to roll it about the same width, the same size as this is, like that circle. I'll probably just do. And again, you want to roll your hands, go on both sides. You know, roll your clay with making your hands go on both sides. And you can make it a little thicker if you want, but you know, you want it this size or a little bit bigger. You don't necessarily want it smaller. So I'm just going to kind of keep it at that. I'm going to cut the ends off. And I'm going to kind of, and you see how that is? Let's see. It's just a round. And then I'm going to take my piece of clay right here. I'm going to set it right on the edge. So the edge of the white on the edge of the pink over here. I'm going to then cut the white where it ends on the pink. And then, again, you want to, once you roll this white out, throw it in the freezer for 3 to 5 minutes. Because when you cut it, you want it to stay that nice round shape. And when, especially when you put it on here. It's very warm down here. Now you want to pull it up like I did, so it's covering. Give it a good kind of push. You don't want to change the shape of the clay, but you want the pink to stick. And you want to roll it. And as you see, you'll see the pink touch. See where it touches right there? And if you roll it back, you can even see a line where it touches. But, and then I'm going to lay this like this. Where it touches, just take your knife, or whatever you're using. They sell plastic ones. Use a butter knife. Use a plastic knife, whatever you got. Give it a cut. Well, it would help if I cut. I didn't cut. I cannot see. There we go. Set this aside. And then you see your seam. And just kind of roll it. And kind of just give it a nice little smooth with your fingers. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to kind of give it a little roll. And then start with where the seam is and just very lightly moving your hands. You want to go over that seam so it blends together. That's the great thing with polymer clay, is it blends together. And you can always push it up a little bit to kind of shrink it up. Kind of like it went into some cold water and had a little shrinkage. Okay. All right, so we have our first petal. All right, now we're going to do a little thing in there once I get the rest of these done. So, and if you can see the line still a little bit, I don't know if you can see that on here. Like right here, just take your finger and give it real lightly a smooth. A schmoove. See? And then again, just kind of quick roll, quick push, set it aside. Now we have this piece. So we could take our other white piece that we did and we could put it on the end. And you'll measure yours a little bit better than mine when you're doing your white. I'm just trying to show you the basic. And then just roll it the same. I probably should have had some of these done before so I didn't bore you with all this. And then I just rub where the... Now I'm going to show you something. If you do like I do, and you find yourself making... Now you can always push the clay in. Like you see I push it in. It's like a little worm. And just go with your fingers and press out the air bubbles. Roll it. If you find this being smaller, like if you end up making a majority of these that are smaller, you can always cut some of this off and even roll it out a little bit more. And we'll get to that if we get to that point. Right now, I just kind of want to get it assembled for you so you can kind of see. But because the clay gets warm, it is hard to keep it as a circle. So I'm sorry, but I'm teaching you how, like I said. And then we're going to go on and do, I'll try to make them a little bit smaller because it'll be easier to do and to cut. So we're going to go with our next white one. We're going to lay it in our pink. We're going to do it the same way. We're going to roll it, push it tight, roll it over till you get to touch the other side. Take your knife, cut it. Now you can see we have a lot of white sticking out of there. We can cut that off. And I'm just going to roll it. A little pressure, try to get the air bubbles out. I want to keep you here all day, so we'll just do this. That's 3. Then I'll fidget with them when I'm done. Gonna do another one. Roll, 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 baby. I can't believe how warm it gets down here. Even though sometimes I'll sit down here with the heater on and it freezes. But I'll be upstairs in my new office, in my new art room, which I'm very excited about because it won't be as warm down because I'll be able to have the regular heat and the freezer will be there. So, because I can't run up and down steps for the freezer. As much as I would love to, guys. But then I can give you a little bit better, you know. But for now, you guys are getting the gist of what I'm trying to show you. Now you can do, this is 4, I'll probably end up doing 5 of these. Which I probably could have cut that one. But you can do 6 of these around 6 flower petals or whatever you want. I'm just going to do one more. I'm just going to roll it. I mean, you guys get the drift of what to do. Cut that way off. Cut that off. And roll it. And smush it back up a little bit. Like I said, you can always push it back. That's what I love about clay, is you can roll it out and then you can smush it back. So now let's take a look at the sizes of what we got down here. I'm going to kind of, okay. So I'm going to cut end off of that one. Just kind of form it with my finger. You won't have this issue, like I said, if you go freeze these before you cut them like I am, because it's so hot they're mushing, even though my knife is very sharp. But so let's just kind of put these together so we can kind of get a basis of where we're at. I'm going to push this little guy back up. If I would get on camera, that would help. Isn't it funny? Because I go into my own world. Like I'm so used to sitting here talking to my dog. That's how sad it is. That when I'm recording sometimes I forget. All right, this one's a little sucky because it's small and I'm not really happy with that one. I might just roll another big fatty because I don't like that one. I'm going to whine. I'm just going to roll one more. Because I want it fairly big, and that one's just not doing it for me. Okay. Okay. But, and like I said, remember, go in all of them, and you want to push. Keep getting off camera, I think because I'm in too far, because I want you guys to really see, but I'll go out just a little bit. Make sure you go, like, on all of them, and you want to make sure that seam's rubbed away, and you want to make sure the air bubbles, and just by kind of not pinching it hard, but just kind of like, you know, really making sure that they're not there. So I'm going to roll this one out just a tad bit more. And we should be good. Okay, so these are much bigger, obviously, than this, but I'm not worried about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these around my petal. So I like to go across from each other first. Now, if you find that your clay is too, too big or too long or to work with, just cut it. And then I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna go across. And then I'm gonna go here. And look, can we see? We have our flower started. And I'm just gonna lightly go back and forth in my hand so it sticks together. More in the palm. And kind of rotate it more in the palm. Give it a little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze. And we squeeze it and we smush it. Oh, that's why never mind. I did something and then I was like, why did I do that? Well, I took a color out. Now I realize why. Now, here's, where you're going to, like I said, keep kind of squeezing it in and rolling it because you want to get those air bubbles out. Now, something that you can do, and before I started squeezing, you could have rolled out a piece of clay. I don't know if this might be too tough to do, but you could have made it into a choice you can do is make it like pinch it on the top and you want to make it flat on the bottom like a triangle, right? Let me just show you because this is an option that you can do. I did in a different video, so if you go back you'll be able to see it. And then what you do before you start kind of smushing it together is adding another color in between. So these wouldn't be tight yet. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't have blended them together, so you would have another color in that would separate the petals. Or something else you can do is wrap them, after you do this, wrap them all in a black or the silver or another white or a darker pink or the purple or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it gives you even more of a contrast. So it's up to you. Now, here's what I want to show you. Let me see if I can get one of these off. Okay, I'm not going to be able to pull that part and I don't want to. I saved this one. We'll use this one. Here's something fun to do before you add it to your middle piece. So before we add this to this as our flower, it almost kind of looks like I did it here in a sense, but I didn't. Here's a fun thing to do. If I can get this cut clean enough, yeah. Okay, so you have this. Take your pink, like we have all these extra pieces, and we got our round. I get so excited doing these tutorials that sometimes I just talk. Take whatever knife or blade or whatever you're using, and you kind of want to cut down almost to the end, but so you can separate it. Okay? So you see how you have it opened? And you kind of want it in the middle the best you can. So you want to like make sure you take the look on both ends, that's in the middle. Even if you push it around the blade or whatever you're using to cut it, so you can make sure you're in the middle. And then take it out. Okay, so you're going to have a hole that's like this. And you can see this is kind of creepy looking. You want it to be a V, basically. But when it's smushy, it's hard, so you want to make sure your clay is good. And then you want to take a piece of clay, okay? Flat clay, doesn't have to be this big, obviously. But you want to stick it all the way down to where that V point is in your flower on both ends. So it goes in the V, and then you want to shut your thing again. I wish it wasn't so warm down here. But you see the look? Let's see. See the look of it? So now let me cut all this off and then show you. 1 second. Cut that. Cut that. Okay. So now We're going to just fiddle with it for a minute. Make sure that goes down in the V. Kind of form it back into your circle. Give it a little roll. This is before you put your petals on your flower. And you can smush it back up if you want. And you can do whatever color you want. Now, let me show you. So now we did that. Now let's take a piece of a different color clay. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use this gray right here because I have it sitting here. But give me 1 second. I'm going to throw this through the pasta machine just because with my hands it'll take too long. Okay. Now we can wrap this. This is before we even get to putting it together as a flower. And we can wrap it in this. Right? Roll it the same way. And you'll have, smash it with our fingers. These are different ways that you can do this flower. If you're just starting out, I would do this one, and we'll get back to that one in a second. But these are other things that you can do. So I'm just going to cut those ends off. And because I need to roll it more and smooth it. I know I'm off camera. I'm just trying to smooth this up close because my eyes. My eyes. All right. Okay. Ready? See? So then you can even pinch it on the ends and you have a petal. So when that goes in, you see the difference that you can have? And you do all your petals like this, like we just did. Instead of just a plain basic, this is a basic beginner flower cane. This, if you do it just like I showed you, and then you put all these in there, like, let's say this is our middle, and we go to put all these in there, right? Look at the difference of the flower you can make. So you make these all the way around. Let's see if I can maybe cut a few of these to see if I can get them around there to kind of show you. Can't promise nothing, but I want to show you. So we'll say we have one. And once you get it on there, you can form it a little bit better. And then you'll have two. Say we only want to do 4 petals on this. 3. I love how clay sticks to each other. Makes me happy. 4. You see what I'm saying? Wait a minute. I know. You guys are like, are the drugs wearing off? Okay, we're kicking in. We don't know, Cal. We don't know. But do you see the flower that you can then achieve by having those all around there? I know it's hard for me to hold together because I don't have enough on there. Stick, baby, stick. But you see? So then you would go around and just continue. You'd put another petal here, 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 and then you have a whole different kind of flower. And you would, of course, you know, kind of manipulate the petals a little bit better than I have going on here, but it's a different look. So that's great to do too. This is long enough, and I just wanted to show a basic one today, so you can play. But this is definitely fun and easy, and like I said, you just keep kind of going and add more of the petals, and you get a really beautiful flower. Look how pretty that is. Could be if it was done correctly, done all the way. And then you just wrap it in the color that you want, on the outside. Which you can also do the same with this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to continue to roll it. And making sure that it's rolled. And I'm going to do it on the paper here, on my nonstick surface. And I'm making it smaller as I do it. Now let's cut it in the middle. Now you can see all this like icky at the end. This is the opposite end. I always take and cut and just save it for extra. And I'm just going to keep rolling. And what we'll do is now you can see here where I have all the lines of where they were all connected. So you'll just go in and, you know, we're going to kind of push it and roll it. And before you cut it, like I said, before you roll it or cut it, you always want to put it in the freezer because that's going to help with it not smushing together. Like you'll see mine smushing together, and that's because it's so warm. And when I cut it, of course, it smushes. But you get a nice flower. And again, you can make these as small as you want. So if we cut this piece, now what I would suggest is if you're just starting out, if you've never done this before, I would do these. If you're kind of brave and you want to try something different, before you put your petals on, like I said, I would wrap it in another color, whether it be purple or whatever you're doing, and do the flowers with the wrap on the outside. Let's see how small I can get this. I hate this. I hate that it gets so warm in here. Ugh. But look at how cute. So those are just little flowers. And you can see, I don't know how close we can get it. See inside? There's your little jelly roll. And if I was freezing like I was supposed to, all these little petals would be the way that they were supposed to be shaped, because they would be cold and they wouldn't have smushed as much because it's so warm in here. But you get the idea. And that's your basic polymer clay flower. And you can even roll it even smaller. Let's see. And what's fun is, like, if you have, I don't know, let's just say this is like a piece of like scrap clay we have, right? And you want to make a pendant, but you need a piece of scrap clay. So you have your piece of scrap clay, and then we have this. And what we can do is just cut very thin pieces and then go lay them on. I'd probably lay this on black because I don't have any blacks in here, because I like these colors and these would really pop with the black underneath of it. But you just cut them and you lay them. And you lay them. And you lay them. And yours will look much better than these because your colors will be, different. Like I said, my colors are kind of crappy. And then you kind of just, with your fingers, very kind of little pressure, you press it down, kind of form it on your piece. Press it down. And these would look great with a nice gloss over it. Like if you have 3D crystal lacquer or Mod Podge glossy or Collage Podge. And you just kind of work it. You better work it, girl. And if you want, you can take your little roller and just give it a little roll. And I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to show you. You can't even see the individual pieces. Now, you see how there's like a big pink bloop in the middle there? Right here? Well, I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is go back and I'm going to cut another flower cane off. And what I'm going to do is put that right on that pink bloop that I don't like. And I'm just going to push it down with my finger. And you can layer as much as you want. Go over it for a second with my roller to make sure it's down there good. And then look at that. It's all fixed. So you can use all your scrap clay, like all these little pieces that I cut off that I'm not going to use, and turn them into these really cute things. And if you want them bigger, like I said, you have this big piece and you can do, let me just take some of these yucky little pieces I have here that I'm not going to use and make a bigger, flatter piece. We'll leave our little baby there. But let's say we have a piece of bigger scrap clay that we want to use on a mixed media piece or as a pendant or whatever you want. And then we want to use these bigger pieces on it. Now this is my end piece, but I can get like one more. It's not perfect, but it'll work. I'll just put it there where it kind of looks like it ends up there. And then I'll cut more from this one. Real thin, you know. It should be enough. And then we'll just go lay these around. And you can see the colors underneath. You know. Try not to overlap them because that's, you know, but if you do overlap them, you get a cool look and you love it, I say go for it. And then we'll just lay this one over here. Lay this one over here. And you see all that, how big and chunky? And then we'll just kind of give it a roll. And you can see how it spreads out a little bit. But look how cool this looks. And this is just the basic flower cane. Like I said, now you can manipulate it. You could take a clay cutter, cookie cutter, whatever you want. Cut out a shape of this. Or, like I said, use this in a mixed media piece. If you want, you know, you can cut these extra little pieces off. You can add, you know, like a little piece of the flower, like right here. If you want, you know, to cover more of that purple. And just roll. Yeah, you can mix big, small, whatever. And you get this great look. So between this and this are two different things that you can do with this. And I hope that you guys learned something. Like I said, you get, look at the difference. And it's just by the cut. You know? I could sit here all day and play because I love clay. But, I mean, something, let me show you one. I know, see? Here we go again. This is why I'm not allowed on, I don't hate doing clay videos. I love it. But this is why I limit myself, because then I start, like, let's show this. Now, I'm just going to smush these ones where I wrapped around the gray. And I'm going to set them on this piece. Okay. I'm just going to smush them. Just give them a little smash. So if you do it this way and you have extra color, you know, extra of these left over, you can see what you can do with these. Put that in the middle, smash this. And you can smash them with your fingers. My RA is a little rough today. But let's roll this out. Put it through a pause machine if you want, but you don't have to. You can just use your hands, really. Or whatever you're using to roll out. You can add glitter. You can add mica powder. You know, and if you see some where they blend, just take your finger and kind of smear over it. And then look at that. Then you get a different kind of look. This almost looks like some sort of flower with the petals and all. But I mean, so when you have leftovers, they don't have to go to waste. These could be used on in your journal, your mixed media, you know, after you're done baking them. And you can do the same thing if with air dry clay. You just want to make sure that you can color it. You can color air dry clay. You can do the different, you know, like mix all the different colors that you want and then roll them up and cut them and leave them dry. Maybe one day, if you guys want, you can request, I'll do a video on using the air dry clay to do the same thing. But, I mean, look how cool. I can't be any, like, I'm so happy that they came out so nice. Let's see how, for some reason, when I zoom in, I get worse quality on my camera then. And it's a good camera. I don't know why. But can you see how exciting? 3 different looks. All the same cane. That's the little small one. How cute. I mean, think about like this one, like making like little earrings for a little girl or a little necklace. And then, you know, with either one of these, how cute. And you can even like do their initial on it with the clay. Roll it out, make an initial, and then put it in, implant it. I've been thinking about implants lately, don't ask why. But you can, you know, roll and put their initial in it, in black or their favorite color or whatever. So this is really awesome. I'm very thrilled. I hope you guys love it. Please leave me a comment. If you like these videos, please like. And if you come across me, please subscribe. Leave me comments. I like to know, you know, what you guys think and how you feel. And if you have any questions, I love helping you guys, and continue asking for me to show demos because I love it, love it, love it. And again, like I said, I just showed you very, very basic to exactly, you know, wrapping it and doing it even, you know, even more. So, I hope you guys have a blast with this. I hope you guys tag me if you try it, or if, you know, and show me pictures or send me pictures. Knitting and things at netzero.com is my email. You're free to email me there. Friend me on Facebook under Kelly Donovan, or Knitting and Things, and put your stuff up. I love it. I love seeing what you guys do. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you for bearing with me for 47 minutes. Please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. This is for all of us out there who want to be able to do clay, and for whatever reason, our bodies sometimes don't let us do exactly what we always want to do. Look what you can do. So always have faith, and always try and have fun. Perfection is never, ever wanted or needed with me. I just love having fun. I had a blast doing this. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for requesting this. And if you have any more requests, just ask. Oh, I want to find her name. Wait a minute. Hold on one second. I like saying names. I'm horrible at that. Let me see. Wait 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Let me find her name. She went through me. Actually, she went through my Knitting and Things page and found me. Her name is Lucy Barlow. Lucy Barlow, thank you so very much for requesting this. I hope this helps you. I hope this is what you wanted. Leave me questions, comments, let me know. And thank you so much for requesting. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of you guys. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.